It's time to start Dishin Days with your hosts, Tony Moore, Michael Mattis, Justin Lee Hareld, and Araceli Aviles. And now, let's dish. Why, hello, everyone. Welcome to Dishin Days, where we're here to serve up a full dish of this week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. But before we get into our church announcements, it is my honor and privilege to bring back one of our gals. He is now back from hiatus and here to serve up some lumberjack realness. Welcome back, Michael Mattis, everybody. Yay!
Thank you, Tony. It is your honor and your privilege to have you back.
No, it truly, really is, because now Tony doesn't have to keep pressing the buttons.
Ooh, child, I was so tired of pressing them buttons. There's a lot of buttons to press. I got to talk and I got to press
It's
buttons.
a lot of buttons, and you got to talk, and you got to keep track of the conversation, because sometimes you'll be pushing the buttons, then you'll be like, what?
Yeah. I got to make sure Araceli's answering questions instead of sitting there talking about I plead the fifth. Like, girl, it's been a lot. So welcome back, Michael Mattis. People have been asking about you. They've been worried.
Back. I'm sorry.
I told everyone that you hurt yourself jumping off a cliff. And then one day I said you were kidnapped by Connie. And then another day I said he's on the run with a ponytail. So I think I covered all bases.
Who was on the run with a ponytail?
You. I mean, you couldn't look like Michael Mattis. You had to put your hair up in a ponytail.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's all you need to do in Salem. You know, just put your hair back in a ponytail and you can walk around town.
Glasses.
So, there you go. Oh.
You tempted him.
Who's that guy?
I know, it's like...
Michael Mattis, where did you go? Michael
Mattis. There he is.
It's like having your own mask.
Right.
Well, welcome back, Michael Mattis. We have missed you.
Good to be back.
Yeah, we can't wait to
Ready to start talking about all the things.
There's a lot of things to talk about. A lot of things to talk about.
I'm sad that we didn't have Body and Soul on this week. Next week, you'll hear what I think about Body and Soul.
Oh, just you wait, Michael Mattis. Just you wait. Well, speaking of waiting, you guys have to wait no longer, because now I'm here to remind you that you need to follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter, X, and Threads. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching us live and in living color, go ahead and click that subscribe button. We're almost to 4,000 subscribers. After almost 9 years, a strong 4,000. So let's up that up. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, and share it among your friends. And if you don't like watching us, because you can't stand the sight of our faces, or we're just too darn pretty for your TV or laptops, you can listen to us on your favorite podcast station. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Just type in Dishin Days, hit that follow button, and take us on your long car ride, or while you're walking around your city block, or just need to pump some iron in the gym. You can find out what's happening in Salem. Side note, you know who I found out that does take us with him on his long walk? Shout out to Tom Early.
Oh.
Yeah. He messaged me because he was laughing about something last week, and he was like, yeah, I put you guys on and I just walk around. And I'm like, you are the guy that I'm talking to. He said, I am. So shout out to Tom Early, who is probably walking around somewhere listening to this podcast. We appreciate
getting ideas of set decor.
Yeah. Ooh, you know what? He should etch in like Dishin Days somewhere so we can be like, that's us. Maybe we could be in the tombstone. Someone's last name is like Harpo Dishin Days. Demira.
That's funny.
And of course, make sure you guys show some love to our former co-host and my chocolate twin, Mr. James Lott Jr., who is serving up a lot of dishes of his own. James is over the recap of Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, and General Hospital, along with some original audio dramas that you can hear. So make sure you head over to JLJ Media on YouTube and where all podcasts can be found, because James Lott Jr. is the only person I know who was friends with Alexander Graham Bell. He was. He told me. He was the first phone call he made.
Ooh.
Welcome. All right. Well, let's find out, what did you guys think about this week's episodes of Days?
Loved it.
This was a good week. Good week.
It was like, again, one of those moments where it's like, we're gonna like just through a storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody this week was walking all through Salem and just tying up all
over the place. And even though everyone knew what was going on, she was still able to. I was like, Jada, why are you at the hospital? I know your boyfriend's there. I can get into this later, but like, like there's an APB out on someone. They're just walking around the park, walking around the pub.
You know who didn't care about that APB?
Connie.
Well, speaking of APBs, actually, well, let's break it on down, shall we? I feel like we should do this, and then we'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
Do this, then do that.
It is now time to start
Dishin Days.
Well, at least y'all got it. All right, speaking of APBs, everybody, guess who did find her? We did. We are proud and happy to welcome the knife-carrying, lead-loving, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, great assistant to Gabi, but hater of Gabi, woman herself, Miss Connie Vaninsky, because I'll put an L in there somewhere, but better known as Miss Julie Dove, everybody. Hi, Julie.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome. Of course, welcome back to Dishin Days. Listen, since we last saw you,
a lot has happened.
A lot has happened.
I would never in a million years have thought any of this would happen.
Well, speaking of that, I love just thinking of, because like we said last time, you and I share very similar stories as far as being huge fans of Days of Our Lives, both being actors, both dreaming of being on this show.
Yeah.
For you, to have such a huge storyline and now a moment in Days history, like, what does that feel like for you?
I mean, it's incredible. I kind of get chills hearing you talk about it. Every day since last December when it started, and November when I started getting asked about the episodes, I just wake up every day and say, oh my gosh, did this really happen? Did I really film 26 more episodes of Days of Our Lives? And as of Monday, it'll be 30 episodes that I've shot. And it's incredible. So I don't want to say I can't believe it, but because I don't want to sound negative, but it's like, it's so amazing to have like such a specific thing. And then like when I just had the one episode that didn't air, I was happy. I mean, I was sad it didn't air, but I was like, okay, I accomplished my goal. And then when I got to come back again and be Sloan's client, I couldn't believe that. And then each time it's just been like, oh my gosh.
Now I'm interested, Julie, what came first? Were you told that you were wanted back for a specific reason, and then told the full dish, or did you know right away that you were going to be Connie the killer?
No, I didn't know at all. So the show is very secretive, even amongst the staff and cast, because I guess they really just want everything to try to remain as confidential as possible. So I just got an email last November from Bob Lambert. He is the associate casting director, amazing guy. Shout out to Bob. He handles the booking and the scheduling of everyone. And he sent an email that said, Connie's coming up in a few outlines. And so he gave me the episode numbers and the potential shoot dates. And then the next week I got another email with more episodes, and then another email, still no scripts or anything. And I was just like, oh my God, what's going on with Connie? And then it was, I guess it was right before Thanksgiving that I got the first script, and that is when I have the flashback on the park bench that I killed Lee, and that was it. Like, there's no like, nobody says here's what's going to happen and here's how it's going to start and how it's going to end. So, as an actor, it's interesting too, because I had to make the choices as I went, without knowing what was going to happen next. Mm-hmm. But getting that first script was like, oh my God, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, where's this going?
Yeah. And then,
so we were,
right?
We watched it. Yeah.
Everywhere.
We were just like, now, wait a minute. Where is this going to go? For you as an actress, like how, without knowing so much about Connie in this iteration and where she's going, how did you shape Connie? Like, how did you, because we already were introduced to Connie as a match for Lee and then Sloane's client, and we knew that she was very familiar with Salem and like the shenanigans of it all. But obviously in this iteration, she was going to be a little more unraveled. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, as I like to say.
Yes.
How did you like go, okay, like how did you start honing in and really, shaping Connie to bring her to this part of the story?
Yeah, well, I definitely took the episode with the date with Lee was very informative of how, Connie had been lifelong Salemite. And I really liked the details in that episode and getting to do that little monologue saying I worked at the Cheating Heart and went to Salem U and all that. That was helpful to me because I just for me, the idea is that Connie was the town busybody, but kind of the person that only maybe the people in her part of town know her neighbors, because she's always the one peeking out of the blinds or going to get her mail and talking to the neighbor about like, oh, did you hear so-and-so? And so for me, the choice was always that she was like nosy and eccentric, but that she did not have a snap until the rejection from Lee.
Yeah.
So that was like, for me, her break from reality, in that, the wonderful speech where she says she's been on 500 first dates and she can count second dates on one hand.
Yeah.
So like the Lee, like she just really became obsessed with him, and that was like the break. So then I just informed everything from that, and that they were all just logical choices of her just trying to cover her tracks. Then as more killing became involved, then I just evolved her crazy, obviously went beyond the obsession of Lee. So that was kind of the choice that I made as an actor.
Yeah. Thanks.
We have a comment from one of our favorites, Christian Me World. Connie girl, how was the bomb? Can you please delete the incriminating tape you got on me now? For $4.99.
The bomb was ridiculous. I don't know if you guys have seen the close-up of it. There's like a shot, I think in Soap Opera Digest or whatever. It's very silly looking, and it's really
well, it looks like
it's what you can get at the hardware store, I would imagine.
Yep.
It looks like whatever contraption they used. What were they doing when they like just took a bunch of stuff from the kitchen? They were trying to do something to Eric, weren't they?
No,
yeah. Dr. Rolfe did the thing.
Dr. Rolfe was trying to do something. No, he's trying to do something to Stefan.
He was trying to bring Stefan back.
Yeah.
Oh no, erase his memory or something.
Yeah,
he's trying to bring it back.
They had him in the Salem Inn, and like it was just like taking a bunch of stuff, and we were. I remember being like, how are you just gonna take the mixer and like you gonna shoot him, gonna shock him with it? Like what?
I feel like Connie went to the Demira kitchen and just whipped it up in the Demira kitchen with some duct tape, and then it was just like an Apple Watch or something attached to it. That was the timer. Yeah.
The timer actually looks like my Nest thermostat.
That's what it looked like. That's totally the thermostat.
You said that because my thermostat's right here. I was like, oh, it's just my thermostat. It's not a bomb. So
okay. Now, Julie, I know that I personally have had so much fun watching you play as Tony calls Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. How much fun did you have? Because it seemed like you were doing a lot of improving with your moves. Like, I was having trouble keeping up with you, especially this week, because I was like, oh my god, that look, oh my god, that I'm like, I can't focus too much on it, because if I focus on each individual look, I'm gonna be like repeating this episode all day long.
Well, definitely, I was able to use my background from, the Second City and Groundlings and UCB and the IO West. All those comedy classes paid off. I for sure improvised a ton of like the actions throughout the storyline, the high-fiving and the silly moments and some of the pacing and stuff, and definitely the looks. But the lines are not improvised most of the time. There's a little bit of paraphrasing, but not improvised. But yeah, I had so much fun playing all of that for sure.
What was your reaction to Cardboard Lee?
I mean, I was so shocked when they brought it out to set. It was. I was like, wow, that is really, really good. But when I first got introduced to Cardboard Lee, I didn't know how much of a relationship I was going to have with Cardboard Lee, because getting the scripts, a couple at a time. So
you got very intimate with Cardboard
yes,
Lee.
I mean, the whole thing with the Lee in the bed at the end on I guess that was Friday. I was like, well, did Connie and Cardboard Lee have a quickie before she went to set the bomb off? Or did she like put him there to be like, when I get back?
I mean, listen, we saw that one time. Connie sauntered into the living room after she slipped into something more comfortable. And she got her wine, and she got her Cardboard Lee, and she disappeared into the bedroom. We said, all right, Connie.
That was an example of some improvising. I downed the glass of wine. They were like, just take one more sip. I was like, is it okay if I down it, the whole thing? They're like, oh, sure, if you want to. I was like, yes, I want to. So I tried to add that when I could.
Did you try to take Cardboard Lee with you as a,
I mean, I'm going to be honest. If Remington wasn't married, I would have asked if I could take Cardboard Lee.
Okay, that's respectful.
As a souvenir, not as creepy, but I mean, that's a really cool souvenir. But because Remington is married and I'm not psychotic like Connie, I didn't bring it up. But I will tell you now, I had the thought.
Maybe they gave it to Remington.
I said, you should take it home. So I don't know if he did it or not. I love what you guys said a few weeks ago, that there should be a Cardboard Lee cutout. I actually emailed Janet that idea and told her that. I was like, hey, for what it's worth, the Dishin Days folks came up with this idea.
It's the 60th. I feel like we kind of need to go all out with the props and have everybody just have a free for all.
I think so too. That would be so fun.
I want to see like a cardboard Deidre Hall would get stolen so quickly.
Oh my gosh.
Or like a cardboard Drake. Actually, that one would probably get stolen quicker.
Yeah. Definitely.
Like,
you talking about some cardboards being stolen for a moment. A cardboard Drake or
dirty.
Anywho. Well, listen, we haven't talked about the storyline yet, but we want you to join us in talking about the storyline. Do you mind hanging out with us, Julie?
I would love to.
All right, well, here we go, y'all. We are talking about our first and top storyline, Combustion Connie. Did I say that right?
Combustion? Yeah, combustion.
Because I don't know big words.
Boom.
I would have just said boom.
I thought about that. I was like, it's more than one syllable, but it's a common word, combustion. Or at least I don't know.
I like it.
Well, this week, Connie was just like, I'm tired of everybody.
Yeah.
I am.
Connie was going out in a blaze of glory.
Yes.
Blaze of glory.
So this week, basically Connie went around being like, to everyone saying, listen, I stabbed Rafe and I'm about to stab you.
Yeah.
You know what you should have took with you? The knife. The steak knife that Connie had this whole time. That would be a nice little memento and like a nice little scrapbook case.
Yes.
That was like signed by you.
The first knife was really big. It's very different. The knife.
Yeah. The knives did change. Were they supposed to be the same one or were they supposed to be different? Because I noticed they changed, but I was like, maybe she at some point got a new knife.
The one for Lee and Rafe was scary. I mean, it was scary as
Yeah.
an actress when and so maybe that's why. I mean, they didn't want me holding that to people's throats. And
Yeah,
stuff.
that was like
Oh,
a big.
yeah.
Wasn't that like a big butcher knife?
It was a big butcher knife. Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
big butcher knife.
It was huge. Well, let's take it step by step because first, poor Melinda was still tied up.
She was.
How
that
was it?
that pantsuit had to be ripe. Ripe.
They wash the clothes every day.
You stripped her and washed her clothes and then redressed her. Okay.
Well, in real life, what I'm saying, in pretend, it was
Because I was just like, okay, as pristine as it looks, with it still tied in the front, like never came untied. I was like, she's been in that thing for a while, and I mean,
yes.
As a viewer, I still can't figure out, like, are we on the same day, or has it been a month? Has it been a week? Like, it's hard sometimes, even getting the scripts.
Yeah, Annette wants to know: did Connie let Melinda go to the bathroom while she was tied up?
Oh, everybody had that question.
Well,
a lot of people.
Yeah, I think she would take her to the bathroom.
I mean, there are some things we as viewers don't need to see, and we can just assume happened. Like, obviously, she's not just sitting there number 2ing and number 1ing for 3 weeks.
I have to say, I crack up when people online, and even you guys sometimes question logic of something. I'm like, people come back to life from being like in a tomb or something. So why are we questioning any logic about anything on this show?
It's funny because I was telling Michael Mattis before we started the show, I was like, the timing of everything, it's almost like everyone was in slow motion. And I start with Melinda, because what I found interesting was that Connie only had Melinda's hands tied, but her feet were free. And Connie kept sitting at the edge of the bed. And one week I was like, why wouldn't Melinda just give a...
I watched that week. I heard you say that. And I mean, I kind of agree. But again, I go back to Brady was living in a tank with things around his head.
This is true.
Very true.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that Connie would be as cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs as she turned out to be, and especially this week? Because I think this week she was just kind of like, I'm just sick of everybody. Everybody's got to die. I don't care, Lee. I don't care what you say. Everybody's got to go.
No, I did not think it would be so crazy, and I was so stressed that when I stabbed Rafe, that was like my 2nd or 3rd day, and I was like, oh my God, am I killing Galen off the show? People are going to hate me. And then when I think this is public knowledge from the credits, but then when like Galen went on vacation, there was a body double for him. I was like, oh my God, is he going to wake up from this? And then when I got the script that I poisoned Tina, it was like 3 or 4 days before I find out she's awake on the couch. I was freaking out. Well, I was asking Armando, who does my hair, I was like, Armando, do you have any scripts that I don't have? Because I am worried that I am killing Tina off the show. I mean, I was like so stressed.
Aww.
And then I ran into Ron and Ryan came to set one day in December, and Ron said that they wanted to kill more characters off than they were allowed to. So I guess I felt then like that everyone was going to make it through, but I was like so worried about, I'm like, I don't want somebody to lose their job.
Wait a minute. They said that they wanted to kill more characters off than they could.
Yeah, that's what they said. Yeah. So I don't know if that means that some of the outcomes maybe would have turned out differently. That's not a negative on Ron, everybody. I'm a huge fan of Ron. I say it to say that, a lot of people are like, oh, Ron this, Ron that. Ron never had full control over what could happen. Like, none of the writers ever have full control. It goes through a lot of people, I think, before those decisions.
So many heads in hands in the pie, or whatever you want, hands in the cookie jar, whatever you want to say, especially when you're on a network.
Well, I hope I don't get in trouble for saying that. My God.
No. I was just like, now I'm like, who?
Well, it probably would have just maybe been like different outcomes, on some of the people. So.
Were you this? I was thinking of asking this question later, but I'll bring it up now because, as a fan of the show, but also a working actress on the show, I'm sure you were like you expressed now that you were just so worried, like you know, oh my God, I'm going to be the character that's etched in time that I killed this person and that person and this person. How were you with fan reactions? Because again, being fan first, I'm sure you were already familiar with the blogs, with soap Twitter and everything like that. And then now you're probably being mentioned and being talked about and things like that. How did you deal with that? How did you handle that? Like, what was that like for you?
Well, thank you for letting me talk about that for a minute. So
Yes.
until this arc started airing, I followed a bunch of blogs and I was reading a bunch of fan chats because I just, as a fan, was always curious about what people were thinking of the show. And, you know, I used to follow politics religiously online and on Twitter and to be informed. And then I switched over to #days and I would every night just read what was happening on Days. So I had to quit that when the show started because people even that I followed and had interacted with just immediately hated the character. I know none of it was ever personal, but there was a lot of negativity from some people. But then, like the last 2 weeks in particular, and so I quit following the hashtag so that I would only see something someone tagged me in, and then when the show would post something, you know, and you are a collaborator, then you see all the comments because you're tagged in that. And so those comments show up. So I really wanted, after the first, when they announced I was coming back, which I asked if they would do that, and they said they would, which was very kind of them. The publicity department at Days, Andrea, is amazing. And so, you know, people would like come back like weeks after and like write something on there, like, I don't like this character, whatever. That's fine. I get it. Yeah. But then some people sent messages that are like, I hate you, you've ruined this show and stuff like that, and come to my page and tag me. And I'm like, that is like so much effort to come over and tell me that, because let me tell you, as a lifelong fan of Grey's Anatomy, I can relate to, you know, Shonda Rhimes ruins every couple on there, like they always bring. And I used to get so mad and like there's no point of shipping a couple on Grey's Anatomy because she's gonna end them at some point. So but I never went online and said like, I hate this, I hate you, or whatever. I mean, it's like, this storyline's not for me, is just as effective as you've ruined the show forever or whatever. But the last week has been so much love and so many people, I guess because I was on 4 days in a row, people just sent so many messages that they thought I was doing a great job and that I played crazy well. And it was really great. There were 2 comments that bothered me the most. 2 people suggested that I was pulling from my personal life of being a psychotic killer. So I just, and I would text some of that stuff to my sister. Again, I only saw those because they would come to my page and tag me. So I was really proud of how I didn't go looking for it, because someone said, you know, if you believe the hype, you got to believe the negativity. So I'm glad I learned so much from it as a person who worries about what people think too much, probably still in life. And as an actor, like, we want affirmation. I think I can probably say that for all actors. Any actor that says they don't, I don't believe them. But it's definitely been a journey, and I'm proud of how I handled it. And I'm thankful for everyone that spoke up either way, you know, because I do think that if you hated the character, I was doing a good job, because she was being an awful person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You definitely made an impact. You know what I mean? Like, whether people liked it or not, like, you got people talking about it, and your performance was that impactful. Like, for me, it was more like it was just kind of a little bit of comic relief. Even the scenes that probably weren't meant to be funny, just the way you delivered a line, or the look on your face, or just something. I was just like, oh, this is cute. Like, it's cute. Like, or it's fun. It's fun. Or I told Tony earlier, I was like laughing. I cackled out loud at some things that weren't supposed to be funny, but it was just like the quirkiness of the character really came through. So that's what I enjoyed about it. And yeah, you know, some people online, there are some people online in the Days Twitterverse, Instagramverse, whatever you want to call it, that if the show is not exactly like it was in 1986, they won't have it.
Right.
I mean, I want to go and hope on every day like everybody else, but it's like,
and it's like, you're living in a fantasy world if you think Drake Hogestyn and Deidre Hall want to work 5 days a week. Like,
Well,
No. Ain't gonna happen.
I would like to throw my hat in the ring of I love the Body and Soul storyline, and I think we have the Body and Soul storyline because when it was mentioned during the Whitley storyline, a lot of people said they loved it and thought it was cool. And then when it started like airing,
they went.
I was just like, oh my god, do you not understand the storyline exists because we all said we loved it. So it's you can't please everybody, but thank you for asking that, and it's been a journey, and I appreciate the emotions I've evoked from everyone. And you all grow as a person.
I mean, remember what did I tell you, Julie, that you have to lean in and trust your own skills and just tune out the rest of the noise.
Yeah,
because what you did this week is exactly what was asked of you and what we needed. Like, we needed to laugh. I needed to giggle so much.
Yeah.
The people are mentioning. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that you guys defended me one week about the whole thing when people kept thinking I won a contest to be on the show and that I wasn't an actor.
That ain't how this works.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wish I would have entered a contest a long time ago to be in it.
Well,
also, whenever Days has done a contest like that and they put someone on the show, the person is only on for like there was a doctor that was supposed to be like the next big character. I don't remember the doctor's name.
I remember.
An actor, and he lasted like 2 months maybe. Like, so yeah, you don't want to win a contest.
They tried to put him between Steve and Kayla.
Oh.
That was a bad idea.
He was a Australian actor, wasn't he?
Yes.
And he had won a contest in Australia, and then they got him on the show.
Nothing against him, but it was a bad idea.
Michael, I think I interrupted you. People were talking about the Kristen and Connie scene.
Yeah, the Kristen Connie. That's when I cackled out loud when you were walking away and you were like, "Watch your back, bitch."
I have to say, I wish that the writers would have remembered that about my run-in with Chad that didn't air, that was on the YouTube page. And because, it's Chad and Kristen comes back to the scene. I wish he would have said, yeah, that crazy lady threw a coffee on me in the town square once.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that.
That's the one that didn't air?
It's the scene that didn't air. It's on YouTube. So it would have been very meta.
Yeah.
What's like your of everything you've done? Like this week was pretty much like Connie's week, even though she was like pulling all kinds of stunts and shenanigans. Like this was Connie's week. But what, like when you look back at everything, what do you take with you is like what stands out to you? Like what scene or what event or what moment like are you gonna look back on and just smile at?
It's so hard because I love working. My main people I work with, were Remington, Sherry, Tina, and oh my gosh, I want to call him Bobby Everett, Blake. So I just loved working with each of them. I loved working with everyone, but each of them so much. So it's hard to pick a favorite because I feel like I'm like sliding someone else. But I would say my most favorite is the flashbacks to when I show up at Lee's apartment in the ball gown and declare my love for him and talk about the dates and all that. I love that. I love going to the hospital to talk to Bobarette and finding out that he is the one who saw me. And then the stunts this week were so fun. I did the one stunt on the bed with Tina, but then I had a stunt double for the fall at the DeMera Mansion. And so those are like my standout moments. And I really, and I love those scenes at the end with Sherry, the big confrontation at the end. That was just great. Yeah. I mean, I do think that Connie loved working for Gabi, even though she hated her. She loved the idea of being a really good assistant to someone, and she enjoyed that praise.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the things that we talked about a lot was the fact that Connie killed Bobarette, and we were like, oh, so we just not gonna get nothing else from Bobby, huh? It's like, that's it.
Yeah, that was like, I mean, I gotta tell you, that was like my second day on the show, and Blake came to the dressing room to rehearse with me. He goes, did you know you're killing me off the show? And I was like, what?
Oh, no.
I mean, so from that moment on, I was just on edge of who's coming, who's going, what's happening, like I told you guys. But he hopefully he'll come back. He's come back before. So I watched him in the original iteration of Nick Fallon before he became mean.
Yeah. Well, you know, they always come back some way, somehow.
Exactly. So
So going on Connie's journey this week,
Yes.
we've got Melinda, who was able to escape, but Connie somehow got her from her apartment down to the Demera tunnels, tied up. Then she got into a confrontation with Gabi, hit her with a fire poker, which seems to be the object of choice in Salem, dragged her down into the Demera tunnels, went to the Home Depot, created a bomb, gave herself 2.5 minutes to get out.
Yeah.
And
The longest 2.5 minutes ever.
Oh, right. It was a couple
I
of
was
commercials.
watching the episode. I was like, okay.
And then it's like, and then just when you think, like, okay, she's good, right? Nope. Not. Hey, Miss Vitale, I got a beef with you. And once I'm done with you, I'm going to your man. Oh, your man is at the door.
She should have been satisfied with the bomb.
Can you imagine if they wrote it to where Connie just took everybody down into the Demera tunnels? Speaking of just, not asking questions, this what is it called? Dispensing disbelief or whatever?
Yeah.
Suspension of disbelief.
Yes,
That one.
That one.
The question is, how was Connie able to get into somebody else's house, to get them into the tunnels, tie them up?
At this point,
And no
anyone
one
can
see
get at this point, anyone can get into the Demera mansion at any time.
Mhm.
When they renovated that house, something got messed up with the security because people come and go from that house. They come in the front door, they come in the back door, they come into the house from the tunnels. And then it's all about Harold's at the store, Harold's running errands,
Well, I think that she had the keys from working at Demera. Like she probably stole them and copied them at the hardware
that
store.
makes sense.
Nice.
That
Yeah.
makes sense at the Walmart. There's
Exactly.
no price down.
Exactly. That was kind of my choice. and
And,
she's very strong, I guess, to drag those bodies around.
Right.
Like I feel like people like Connie, they have that strength. Just it's like, how when you're like adrenaline,
Yeah.
like if you're in a situation where you have to save someone's life, the adrenaline starts going. You get like the superhuman strength. You can do stuff that you never did before. And I'm just guessing Connie was like that because she was psycho. She's
And
always
she was
had
like
that
saving
adrenaline.
her own life. She was like, I have to save my life. I
Yeah.
have to get this body here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
But-
do you
And I mean,
think
Melinda,
that Connie?
Melinda and Gabi aren't,
No.
They're very
they don't
thin.
look heavy.
Very
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but do you think that? But I
Oh god.
because that would okay. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this question because you just said Connie was worried about her own life. Connie is very much not about her life, or what is it like? Her life with Lee, with Cardboard Lee.
Oh, yeah. Well, her life with Cardboard Lee. Like everything is about trying to like go live this happily ever after with Lee. So she's trying to save her life to spend it with Lee because Lee, her imaginary boyfriend.
Yes.
Lee's her lobster.
Lee is her lobster.
Oh gosh.
There were so many people having issues with the fact that Connie knew about the secret room and the tunnels. Doesn't everybody in Salem by this point know about it's not secret. They call it the secret room, but there have been so many people rescued from down there. Like it's just common knowledge amongst Salemites now that there's
Especially if you're the
rooms.
town gossip and busybody. You've heard that from someone.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. So it makes total sense that Connie knew that there were tunnels there and
You
how
probably
she
took the tour of the Demera mansion when she started working at Demera and found out everything. She probably just
there you go. Yeah.
the tour.
She accidentally bumped into the table and the door opened and
Yeah.
she's like, "Whoa, what's in here?"
Yeah, I could
She-
see her doing that.
She get that little thing that slides open the secret tunnel door. It was like,
Mhm.
oh, let's just
Yeah.
go down here. Not only she's gonna get herself a good bottle of wine, but she's like, okay, good to know.
Yeah.
It's good to know.
Now, but even I was kind of like, is Connie gonna get tired soon? Because it really did look like you were running, because you were running from the apartment to the Demera mansion. You were running from the mansion to to the tunnels and then back over, and then you were all across town to the town square and up to the pub and then back down again until you got caught. And I'm like, girl, you really don't know how to slow down.
She was like Tina Turner and What's Love Got to Do with It? Running away from Ike.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the adrenaline. I remember that scene. I think definitely the adrenaline of like, I've got to get back to Lee. He's waiting on me.
That was a lot of running.
It's a lot. It's a lot of running around.
I just like when you talk about Connie wanting to get back to Lee, and it's a cardboard cutout in the bed with the covers like drawn.
It's just Lee for her. He's just Lee for her.
Mm-hmm. But also, suddenly I had this question: like, where did Connie sleep? Because if Melinda was in her bed tied up, then where was Lee? Where was Lee and Connie?
I have to say, I had that same question when I saw the episode because I thought that there were 2 bedrooms at the apartment and that the cardboard cutout Lee would have been in the other bedroom. Yeah. But the way they shot it, cardboard Lee was in the bed Melinda was in. Right? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I think we can maybe chalk that up to a continuity mistake. I don't think Melinda slept with. I don't think Connie slept in there with Melinda.
Right. Scoot over.
I think she would take cardboard Lee out every night over to her room.
Last week. I was so mad because Jada had finally like gotten to Connie's apartment, inches away from finding Melinda, and then it's like Rafe is awake, gotta go, and I'm like, you were so close. But then this week she comes back, and now she's found blood. She's found like, the cardboard Lee just like laying in bed. She was hot on the trail, but it ended with you getting caught by Jada, and it's like
once again, Jada herself does what a team of police people, including Roman Brady, walked in the.
He's the best police officer the town's ever had.
I like how he was like, this isn't my first rodeo. I can go find Gabi. Gabi.
I was so excited. First, I thought I was going to.
Well, guess she's not here.
I thought I was going to get to have a scene with Josh because I thought maybe we'd cross each other's paths or something. But
I was waiting for that.
I was like really hoping that would happen. But it didn't.
I mean, didn't come up like didn't notice the fire poker. Didn't notice the tunnel door slightly ajar. It was literally just yelling for Gabi. But the first question is, there was no one to even let him in. He just walked in.
He did.
And
everybody
yelling.
just walks in.
I think I'd left the door unlocked.
You probably did. In the midst of you running uptown,
like
downtown,
Julie Dove doesn't for any answer for everything.
Yes, I have OCD. I thought all of this out. I like the logic. I like logic.
The door unlocked. Yeah.
I like the logic. I get frustrated when this stuff is not. We have continuity things too. I notice it, but I don't.
But now beyond the killing and the stabbing and the poisoning and etc., she's also Connie's done some emotional damages as well. Now, do we think that she has created the permanent rift between Gabi and Stefan?
I mean, we're just gonna have to all wait and see. It's a pretty big rift.
And now Gabi and EJ are kind of, they thought it was just a revenge boink, but I'm kind of like on the side of like, I'm like, oh, this might be good because Sherry and Dan work really well together. I think
didn't want to like it.
I know you don't want to like it, but
when he went to hold her hand in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh my God.
It's a little quick. It's a little quick, maybe, but I'm not mad about it.
Connie might have done some good. Connie might have helped out a new couple in Salem. She thought she was getting revenge, but she might have just started something anew.
We have to wait and see.
All it took was a bomb.
A flash of like the. Were you there when Julie? Were you there when they shot the moment I don't know what happens. Like everyone just hangs out on set and waits their turn, or if you wait down the dressing room, or maybe you weren't even there that day. But the day that the bomb exploded on EJ.
No, I wasn't there that day, so I didn't get to see it.
Oh.
This is like the second time they've had a scene with Dan as EJ where something happens to him, and it's just, they have to like piece together something. Before it was with Miranda.
Yes.
What was her name?
Megan.
Demira. Megan.
Yeah.
With Megan Demira, and she smashed a
Oh yeah.
thing over his head, and all we saw was Dan just go like, and then he was on the floor. This time we saw Dan, a flash of light, the sound effect of a bomb, and he was on the ground. And I'm
I didn't see that. I don't think that was even
a little bit clunky. It was just a little clunky.
Bombs are expensive
Yeah, it's hard to
to create.
Yeah,
Not
it's
really
hard to,
create, but
yeah.
you know.
It's hard to
The VFX, the bomb VFX are expensive, is what you're saying.
yeah, that stuff's
Yes.
hard to create.
Araceli's not creating bombs over there.
Without
y'all.
like a huge budget for a TV show.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, I mean, basically, we were left on a cliffhanger with Connie. We don't know what's coming up next. Oh, Julie, you get to do this because I get to do this with everyone. What is coming up next for Connie? How can you describe it
One word.
in one word?
Closure.
There's gonna
Okay.
be some closure.
So like
Okay.
who's getting the closure? What's getting you don't have to, you're not answering. These are just
No.
the other questions your answer is leading to that we'll look
Yes.
forward to learning this week on
Yeah.
Peacock's Days of Our Lives.
I can't wait to see so many things going on the show. I think there's so many great storylines right now, and it's a very exciting time.
It is. I've noticed like it's been like what I would call soap opera-y, soap
Yeah.
opera-ish. A lot of heightened drama.
Yeah,
Thanks
I
to
love that.
thanks to Connie.
I love the
The-
Abby storyline.
Well,
Mhm.
we call
Abby.
her Abigail.
Okay, yeah. Some
Yeah.
people call her fake Abby, Fabby, I guess.
Abigail.
Yeah.
Fabigail. We call her Abigail.
Fabigail.
I call her Fabby with a PH.
Oh, okay. I
'Cause
love that
it's
storyline.
Fabby.
She's such a great. And Lynn McCord is such a great actress. And of
Oh
course,
yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
she's amazing.
Yeah.
Julie, like as we continue to see what's gonna happen with Connie, for you, we talked about this. Annette just said Connie escorted to Statesville saying toodles, and when Connie said that, I was like, that sounds very familiar. So I played my clip when Terrence left and he said toodles. I was like, oh, look at us.
We're both toodlers.
We're both toodlers.
One of us is crazy and one of us is cool.
Maybe Connie once lived in San Francisco and she and Terrence like kikied every now and then.
Maybe she came and had like a drink and would get her moving to her favorite song, and I'd be like, "Oh, hey, girl," and then I'd
Maybe
be like,
she went
"Toodles."
to that Pride celebration because she's such a crazy person. Maybe she was stalking. Maybe she was stalking John.
The gays will accept me. The gays will accept me. They'll love me. I can't get a real man, but the gays will love me.
That did not work out very well for Jennifer Coolidge.
These gays, they're trying to murder me.
Gays are trying to kill me. They need my money to decorate their houses or some shit.
Wow, listen, we are a show of impersonations, and that was a good Jennifer Coolidge.
Yes, I was it last week when you were just running with the impersonations left and right, Tony, or was that?
Oh
you?
yeah, listen, I gave
Encourage him.
55 minutes
Oh,
of amazing impersonations. I mean, give you Xander, give you Fiona.
Someone mentioned Xander in the chat room. They asked me to ask you to do your Xander impersonation.
Me?
You.
Wait, what should I say? Should I go
You
with my
shagged my
classic
mom?
lineup?
What did he say
Oh,
this week? He said something like, You shagged my
You're
mom.
shagging Brady?
Oh boy.
Done and done. Julie, before
Yes.
we let you go, because I mean, listen, we can
I can talk all
talk
day.
about Connie for forever. First off, I'm so excited for you because, like I said at the top of the show, being a fan of the show, and being a fan for as long as you have, I saw the video where you showed all of your memorabilia that you had from, the signing, the meet and greets and things that you've gone to, and just being with the show for a fan of the show for as long as you have. And now to know that you have a real life character, you had a real life storyline, you've interacted with people that you've watched, for so many years. For you, what do you take away from this whole experience, and what is it like, if you can put into words, to have your dream come true?
I mean, I think that the biggest thing is to never give up, because sorry, I don't want to get emotional. I mean, this town is like really hard to survive in, like financially, finding jobs that allow for time to do auditions. I mean, that's one benefit of the taping we do now versus going in person. But I mean, there's been so many times when I've thought I've got to get like a real job. This can't keep going. What am I doing? I'm going to be 55 in January. So I've been here. I moved here in December of 2001, and it took 10 years to book my first job. And like many of the actors I know, I was booking a couple of jobs a year, and super grateful. So to be able to work this much on the show that originally inspired me, along with some other soap operas, to be an actor, has just been the most amazing thing. And I just think I always like to say in these interviews to encourage people that, like, whatever your dream is, it doesn't have to be anything like major accomplishment, like trying to be an actor or something, but like whether you want to do crafts or learn how to cook, which is one of my new dreams. I don't know how to cook. Anything like that you want to do, like, don't give up on it. Just keep trying, and just there's all kinds of wins. Just the first episode that I did, even though it didn't air, that was a huge win. Some of the auditions that we get, every audition we get is a win, but sometimes you get like an audition, you're like, oh my God, this is like the hardest show in the world to get on. There's just so many ways I could say, just don't give up. And I feel grateful, and I'm trying to just live in gratitude and also have optimism. So thank you so much.
Nice.
Just so excited and so happy for you, and I'm glad that you can like look back on this and go, yeah, that's me. I was Connie.
Yeah, I mean, it's the hardest thing I've ever done. I grew so much as a person, as an actor. I mean, like, learning that dialogue is not easy, especially when you've gone from doing just a couple of shows a year to, okay, now you have 40 pages this week, 30 pages next week. So it's just been it's been so great. I'm so grateful to everyone on the show, everyone there, the crew, the cast, everyone works so hard to bring this out to the fans. And I, as a fan, appreciate it. So I hope all of you do too.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that's coming up for you is your podcast that you have. We've shared it on Dishin Days a couple of times, but now that you're here, please tell everyone about your podcast and the inspiration behind the podcast.
Sure. Thank you for asking. The podcast is called True Texas Crime: The Significant Life of Angela Stevens. I know that's a lot. So if you want to look it up on any podcast network, you can just type in Julie Dove and it'll come up. And Angela was one of my schoolmates. She was murdered when she was 16, the summer after I graduated in 1988. She was murdered by 3 men from our town, or boys, one that I knew fairly well. And her murder just always stood with me. And I felt like that as a victim, that she was like a forgotten victim. And I wanted to bring her story to life and have some personal connection in some other ways that are shared in the podcast. But it's 7 episodes. We have a bonus episode coming out in 2 weeks because we have some new information. But it's not a true crime mystery. It's a true crime story about a victim and a town. The town was 2,300 growing up, and that's how small it was. So everyone was impacted by this, and I'd love for people to listen to it.
Oh, and you can find it everywhere that podcasts
Everywhere that
can
podcasts
be
are.
found, or just go to juliedove.com
That's
and
right.
you can find it there. I mean, I think it's amazing that because I'm pretty sure this wasn't easy to like to come up with this podcast and kind of take yourself back to that moment of like when everything was happening and kind of tell this story. So thank you for bringing this to light. But also, everyone make sure you support it. Go and take a listen to it right after you listen to us.
That's
You can
right.
then take a listen to Julie's podcast. I, for some reason, want to suggest maybe during the day and not at night because you don't want to scare yourself.
It's a tough. Many people say I really like this podcast, but it is a tough listen. People tell me that they've taken breaks, so it is a pretty brutal situation. I also share about something that happened to me that was pretty brutal. So, but I think it's important. We've had a lot of great feedback from people that have said it's helped them get closure on things that have happened in their life. So again, I hope people, and I've had some Days fans that have listened and reached out to me, so I really appreciate that.
Oh, yay.
Any one person that you can help, that you can impact, is a win.
Yeah. And going back to take the wins, we have so many wins in our life that we don't think about because we're so focused on the big wins,
Yeah. Also, one more question, and then a little surprise for you.
Oh no.
We here at Dishin Days, we love rewriting stuff. We love including stuff. We love doing all that. Is there anything that you've done as Connie that you wish you could have done, or that you would have rewritten and done? Is there anything that you would have done differently, or that you wish were added to the Connie storyline?
Excuse me.
I would like for you to ask me that question in the future because I can't give the answer I want to. I think that without spoiling some things, I would like for Connie to have maybe had more time with Kristen and Ava. We had like one scene together, and then Tamara and I had a couple more. I would like to have seen her more at Demera. With the whole idea of like all of those women working at Demera was kind of exciting, and I wish there would have been a little more of that. That would have been fun.
Yeah. Now, I just come in with another question. Okay, now, Julie.
Yes.
Is there anyone on set as Julie, the fan of Days of Our Lives, that you internally, maybe when you got in the car or when you got home, that you geeked out over, that you were like, oh my God, I either can't believe I met them, or I can't believe I'm working with them? What was there a fan moment?
Well, I mean, Deidre Hall, and Suzanne. I think those two, even though I didn't work with them, definitely the two of them. And then, Mary Beth and Steven, but I met them at Day of Days because I stood in line to meet them. So but I did go back and talk to them again. But yeah, I would say I was super geeked out because I couldn't get in the line for a Deidre at Day of Days the last couple of years. So it was so long, and they cut it off. So yeah, that was super, super amazing because I loved Electra Woman and Diner Girl. At Second City, I had a sketch called Electra Woman and Diner Girl where I played Electra Woman. So it was amazing. I mean, I kind of geeked out every day when I got in the car.
Now, what did you take from Days?
All of my clothes, pretty much.
Yay!
Oh, did you? Yay!
Oh yeah, I told you about the pink shirt that I was like, oh my God, that's beautiful on you.
Yeah. So I have.
They did dress you very well too.
They did.
It's so funny because some of the stuff I didn't take because Richard. I'm telling all these things to get people in trouble. Hopefully Janet doesn't listen to this episode if she listens to the show. Richard was like, you can take whatever you want. And then some of the stuff I didn't pick, then the episodes aired. I'm like, why didn't I take that? I would like call back and go, Richard, can I have this Connie outfit?
You like text him and be like, yo, can you just throw this outside the studio? I'll come.
Then I saw Richard at an event and I was wearing Days of Our Lives stuff. I'm like, thank you for my outfit.
Well,
I don't think I took any props or anything. I don't think I could get away with that. Steve, the props guy, he would be like, probably like, no, you can't take that. But I did definitely take the clothes.
Yay.
Like all of a sudden you taking a Brady Pub menu and just being like,
I really would love to take a Brady Pub menu or Brady. I wanted one of those aprons. I tried so hard to get one from you that year at Day of Days. And every time I was just about to get to one, you were like, we're out. I was like,
I'm sorry, they only get okay.
I mean, I can order one online. I'm sorry.
We have to make sure that you get something super cool to like commemorate your time as Connie on the show.
I did get a really nice picture in the pub that the show took.
Oh, good.
It's kind of floating around in the trades. You can't tell. I can tell when I'm sitting in a booth, but I'm supposed to get my pictures. I reached out to JPI Photography. So is it JPI? That's the name?
Yeah,
of it?
JPI. Yeah.
So if I get that picture, I'll post it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of pictures, the kind folks over at Days of Our Lives sent over a few pictures, some little behind the scenes, that you don't even know that we have. It looks like it's from the day that you shot from Friday's episode. So here's Julie right here. This is also her here. Do you see Elia Cantu in the back, and then a nice little hug from her as well. So some little behind the scenes photos of Connie, compliments of the folks over at Days of Our Lives, and I'll be sure to forward those over to you. So that
thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. I love you guys.
Of course. Well, Julie, it's an inspiration to have seen you on Days of Our Lives, and I'm very happy for you. I'm excited to know someone who I have similar vibes with, of like just being such a longtime fan and being able to like see yourself as part of a full-fledged storyline. Like I'm just ecstatic for you, and I'm so happy for you, and I'm glad that you got this moment, because yes, being an actor in LA is very hard. It's not easy. Like people want to say, you can't pick up the phone and call a casting director or just email someone and things happen. But I'm very happy that this happened for you, and I'm so glad that you can look back and be proud of yourself, be happy that you did it, learned so much that you did. And I'm glad that Julie, who had the scrapbooks and the photos and was a huge fan of Days, can now say, I too was on Days of Our Lives.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yay, Julie.
I'll clap for me too.
AKA Connie. But thank you so much, Julie, for coming on. We were so excited to have you, because it was definitely a big week for you. You blew everything up, girl.
Literally. It was pretty amazing.
It'll be interesting to see what happens when we pop back to on tomorrow's episode of what's going to go down between Jada and Connie.
The closure.
It almost feels like Hamilton and Burr, right? Like there's about to be a showdown. But I don't know. It also could be Connie, are you sure you want to bring a knife to a gunfight?
Exactly. I love it.
So we will stay tuned, but of course we wish you nothing but the best, Julie. And any time we can help you, like push something or promote something, you just let us know. You always have support here at Dishin Days.
Thank you so much, and have a great rest of the show.
You too. Well, we'll tune in, because we're going to keep talking about it.
I'm going to see what you guys think. Okay.
Bye, Julie.
Yeah, Julie. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, she's so sweet. I'm so like that is so amazing. Like, you know, at some point, like someone's going to Google Days of Our Lives and she's going to come up. Like,
if they ever do another book, you know, they used to do those books for like the milestones, like the 25th year, the 30th year, the 50th year. I'm assuming Connie will have a she'll be mentioned. Like if there's ever another Days of Our Lives book, she's been so much part, she'll be in it.
Yeah.
I saw her at the Santa Barbara reunion. Well, it's almost 2 months ago now. I think that's where she saw Richard Bloor, because Richard Bloor was there. And she came up and she was like, I got a Santa Barbara t-shirt. And I was like, they're giving away free t-shirts. And she's like, no, you got to pay for it. I was like, oh. But it's just so fun to see somebody who has like an unabashed love, not just for Days, but for all soaps. And, you know, she got to be on one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it. All right. Well, we still got more days to talk about.
Yes.
And we still got more welcoming back to Dishin Days for Michael Mattis. So we're going to keep going with our next storyline, which is, now what is FFS?
For F words sakes. Because that's exactly what came out of my mouth when Annalyn McCord, I'm just going to call her Annalyn McCord because I don't know. Well, I guess we now know who the fuck she is. But
well, she's Abigail still.
Yes.
She's Fox Abigail. Yeah. So, but we don't know her actual name because he keeps calling her sis. So we don't know her actual name. But when she got that text from Clyde, and then they're like, oh, well, I'm going to go see Clyde. I'm like, why? Why every time we think we're rid of him? Why every time, like, this man is not Stefano. He cannot be pulling all of this crap from behind bars. Like, it's just not feasible. And so now, you know, he sent Fabigail the text. What's his name? Went to see him. Steve went to see him. For fuck's sake.
Well, okay.
Okay, Dylan Matthews, because I had this question too. Is Dr. Green even a doctor? Yes, I do believe that Dr. Green actually is a doctor. He did make reference to like Clyde could, or like something about something about his medical license. Maybe it was about the DNA test.
He could lose his license for fabricating the.
I mean, I think we have enough to make. We have enough clues now, or enough information to make a semi-loose deduction of what's going on with Fabigail, Mark. Maybe not the why complete. Well, I guess no. We did get a little bit of the why.
We have a why, but this goes to my original question of, okay, so what's the plan here? Because it feels like we got the answers. We got a lot of answers this week, and yet still so many holes.
So many holes. So
well, is it so many holes? Because the fact that Clyde was just like, he's doing all this to get his hands on Demira money. I was like, yeah,
that part.
And then I was like, oh, so
I don't just want a chance at the Demira fortune. I want the Demira fortune.
Oh gosh.
For fuck's sake.
But then I was also like, wait. Because I'm confused. Because remember when they were talking about Sarah's accident, and they were like, oh, I know you hate talking about the accident or something like that. And it was involved with the parents.
So we assumed the parents were dead.
Yes.
But they were talking to one of the other siblings. They were talking to the other boy.
Aaron.
Right? It wasn't Fabigail and Mark.
No.
It was Aaron and Mark.
Yeah.
But
So but Felicity, I remember Felicity saying a few weeks back that her parents had died in the accident. So
but now it's like does Clyde have the mama? And where's the daddy?
Evidently at this point we are led to believe that the Green parents, so this is the Green family tree that we're working with right now, this brand new family that was introduced this year. So what we are led to believe at this moment is that the Green parents got in a terrible car accident. We would know it was a car accident because of the conversations that Mark has had respectively with Felicity and Aaron, and that through that somehow Mark became legal guardian to his younger brother and sister who are both underage. We do not know what the big sister's role at this point is. We don't know if we don't know how close she is with the younger siblings, how much older she is. if that's why she's not been seen around town because she doesn't want to run into her actual siblings. How that's going to work long term, I have no idea. And now the connection to Clyde is still very loose, but according to what Clyde has now said, he has mom somewhere on ice, and that is the motivation for Abigail or Abigail, whoever we're calling her now, to pretend to be Abigail DiMera. Is everyone clear?
So she can marry Chad and get the money, get the DiMera money. That's the whole, and it's like these plans don't work out, Clyde. You should know that, but you're dumb.
This is everything we know thus far.
Yeah. When you say on ice, do you mean like the bot, like the dead bot? Because
we don't know.
When you say on ice, you just mean stashed, like held hostage.
So we don't know. That's just the word. Yeah. That's just what they. That's just what they. What they. That's
what they said, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also just hoping for something else, because I'm like, underwhelming. We did this with Constantine, and
Yep.
Oh my gosh! Wait. Teresa. Yes. Yeah. I had to think. I was like, wait, was she dark haired?
Yeah.
But we did that. We did that with them, and I just, it's like, so now we're doing it with Clyde.
Yep. Yeah. And it's funny how the motivation is the least interesting part of the story. Like, Clyde is like this big grand puppet master, and I'm about as annoyed with that as Michael Mattis is. But he's like the least interesting part of this, in the way that for me, Constantine was the least interesting part of that storyline.
Yeah.
I like all of the Green siblings. I think each one of them brings something to the canvas. I think that Annalyn McCord is doing a fantastic job of really just pulling at our heartstrings and really making us feel her pain. And it's summer's over, so we're probably going to be seeing a lot more of Aaron and Felicity, which I'm excited about. So it's like that, but like the whole money motivation is the least interesting part for me.
We'll say because the overall storyline was interesting, like at first, and then like realizing her, and then then the amnesia, and then it just kept building, and then when he said that in the jail, I was like, really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
But there is one outlier that was pointed out this week that caught my attention. I was like, oh damn, we forgot about this. We forgot that to question why John was kidnapped from Greece and brought to Poplar Bluff. We still don't have any answers on that.
We still don't have any answers on Baba Red and Jada, so.
Yeah, but I've given up thinking that we're going to get an answer on that.
Well, we not.
Yeah, but at least with
have
this,
you heard about Baba Red?
Did.
As a door nail.
Mm-hmm.
Nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
But
because but the whole John of it actually is interesting because it's just such an outlier. Mm-hmm. It's so off the wall random.
That's true. We were reminded of that a little bit this week. So yeah. But you know what? We were reminded of that, and then I honestly was just like, I don't care. Like, let's just move it along. Poplar Bluff.
And then also, can y'all please stop having them have conversations that they're not supposed to have in the presence of people that could possibly hear them?
I will give it to Abigail, though. She is being
Abigail.
She is, and I'm going to shout out the women here, guys. If you got them, you can hide stuff in them.
Oh,
I'm just saying, a phone, a note, you can hide a lot in here.
Did you just give 3 snaps to Annalyn McCord's breast?
I think I just did.
Abigail's.
I'm just saying this. I'm just stating a fact, and women, you know what I'm talking about.
It's because you know what? You know why? Fashion designers need to create pockets for women. That dress, pocket. Those pants, pocket.
I know. It's
so that way you don't have to keep storing stuff in your bra.
I know. It
Because
reminds
if I'm a cashier, I don't want your bra money, especially on a hot summer day.
No.
Like, ooh.
Like, why is it wet?
Oh my God. It reminds me of an episode of That's So Raven back in the day when Raven went on a date and she pulled out a coat and was like, bam! And he just pockets everywhere.
There is some momentum because it is, Abigail is in a tizzy because you have her first blunder when she was talking to Stephanie and mentioned Kayla, and then she kind of messed up on that. Then when she was talking to Uncle Steve, she messed up with his interrogations, and Steve's like, listen, Kayla, I don't think she is who she says she is. Can you just run that paternity test again?
Here's my thing with Steve. Yes, he does know something's wrong. Yes, he is on the right track. But girl, sit down. Stay out of it. You have effed up so many things by getting involved. Just let it be. Like, Steve needs to sit back. And John, too. If they get John involved in this and they start black patching shit again, I'm going to be like, girls, sit down. Just sit down. Let it be.
But here's the thing is that they're effing it up right now because they're going about it all the wrong way. Going to Kayla was not the right thing to do because he knows exactly she's bound by Dr. Patient confidentiality. You were just there. You were just there talking to her.
For someone whose job it is to figure this stuff out, that's exactly my point. He's going about it the wrong way, just as he and John went about it the wrong way months ago with Ava. Girl, sit down, go home and watch Body and Soul, and let the new professional, let Jada handle it. Put Jada on the case. Jada will have that shit figured out in her heels with in no time.
Jada is too busy figuring out Connie stuff and having to deal with Rafe waking up.
I still have
freaking out about Gabi.
Despite her plate already overfloweth, I feel like she could handle it. Better than at least better than the black patch of it all could.
Oh no, I agree 100%. But still, the fix was easy. The fix to all of this was so much easier, and he's just making it more complicated than it needs to be. You were just there at the mansion talking to your niece. You couldn't find a coffee cup? You couldn't pick up one of her dang coffee cups, one of those expensive pieces of china, or a random glass that she had just drunk from, and test it yourself? Really?
That's what the cops on Dateline do. They stake out a perp. They wait for them to throw away something. They go grab it, and that's how they get DNA.
Exactly.
Toothbrush, hairbrush.
Toothbrush we've had issues with, haven't we? We've had issues with toothbrushes, haven't we? Even in the past year.
I don't think
Wasn't
so.
there?
No, it's not about that. It's about the the interference. It's about people interfering, which is why I said all you had to do was go talk to her. She's already there. See which glass that she's drinking from. Grab it on your way out the door and just test it yourself. There's independent labs. You're a PI. Why do I have to walk you through this?
Yeah. Why does he have to go to the hospital and ask Kayla? He doesn't. He can go to an independent. He can go to Maury Povich's lab, do a DNA test.
I also felt like Dr. Green was freakishly nice, which made me kind of go, now you about to unravel. Because the way that he was talking to Kayla was very much, yeah, I was the one that returned the test to, yep. And she is, in fact, your niece. And I was like, and if I was Kayla, I would have been like,
I do feel like Kayla had a look on her face of like somewhat suspicion, though. Like maybe like I don't know.
You mean
I don't think. Yeah, exactly. I don't think Dr. Mark Green is inherently bad. I think he's doing this under duress, but I don't think he's like a villain per se. Neither and Annalyn, Abigail, whatever you want to call her. I don't think she's Abigail. I don't think she's inherently bad either. I think they're both good people who, for whatever reason, again, we don't know that. We don't know the well, I mean, we kind of know the why, but we don't have all of the information about what's happening. I think they're just put in a bad spot and they're trying to get through it.
I also feel like this. If you're gonna make Clyde this powerful of a villain, just keep him on. Make him the next Stefano. Make him the next Victor.
Oh,
he might be a country bumpkin,
just take him away. No, I'm the opposite. I'm like, just get rid of him, please.
But they keep acting like he's so like devious and like, you know, he got a whole new family in Salem doing stuff. Like
from behind bars, yeah.
Yeah, like if you're gonna keep having him be this powerful of a villain, give James Reed a contract, give him a job, let him terrorize Salem, because y'all keep bringing him back up. Y'all keep having him do some stuff where we're like, how in the world is Clyde from Popping the Bluff able to do this kind of stuff and have these kind of connections?
I don't think we want us answering that.
Well, yeah, that's the whole point of this show.
My answer is put Clyde in jail for good and let us forget he existed.
Well, now you can't, because now you got to deal with the Green family.
Yeah, I'm just over it. I'm not over the Green family. I like the Green family.
I know the Green family's good, but for fuck's sake, Clyde again.
And also, did you need to come?
It's almost as bad as Orpheus coming back. Like every time they bring Orpheus back, I'm like, oh my god, what? Why?
But also, did you need to come up with this elaborate of a plan to get your hand on the Mirror Fortune? Couldn't you have just like hired a tech to like hotwire it to a Swedish account?
Get the routing and account numbers and just boop 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 boop.
Right. You got to come up with a whole fake.
Yeah, it's a little elaborate for just wanting money.
Because I was thinking everything. I was like, ooh, did somebody from the Demare family have something to do with the accident? Do they have some vendetta? Like, I was thinking all that. Well, I just want my hands on the Demare cash.
Yeah, no.
I don't just want a chance at the Demare fortune. I want the Demare fortune.
See, another reason I want to be done with this is because I can't. I'm already dealing with enough of Tony's accents. I can't be dealing with everybody's accents for the next 3 months.
Well, what's wrong, Araceli? You can't take all these accents that's happening?
No, Colonel Sanders.
Well, that's why you won't get your hands on the Demare fortune.
I don't need the Demare fortune. I have my discount wine. I am fine.
Araceli has Target. Araceli has Target. She doesn't need the Demare fortune. She's got Target.
Oh boy.
So she memorized Abigail's vows in like 2 seconds. Bless her heart. And that was
During the whole thing though, I kept looking at Chad and being like, you don't believe this, do you?
That's what I'm like. Was that moment? Maybe he didn't show it, but maybe that moment was going to be the moment where he was like, you ain't my wife.
Because here's the thing. Even though your memory is erased, even though you have a different face, you are not taught to be someone different. So if you are who you are supposed to be, then you would still have the same mannerisms and everything as I mean, if she was Abigail. So
I mean, logically, yes.
right. So when she read that, I mean, at least just act like you're in love with the boy and
Right.
look into his eyes and like say it. She was like, Chad. And I'm like, oh girl. I'm like, oh girl, this about to. And then, Chad just looking back at her like, come on. Yeah, you remember. Yeah. And I'm like, that ain't her.
Yeah.
That ain't her. That is not her.
It's reminiscent of when Susan was parading around as Kristen.
Oh my
and John
God.
Blackhat was none the wiser, even when they were, getting busy under the covers. Didn't know the difference. Chad hasn't gone that far with this girl yet.
They almost kissed though.
I think maybe like I feel like this may be, like I just said a couple minutes ago, that may be the moment where Chad realizes something's not right. Now, will he express that outwardly? No, he may keep it in and just kind of, put it in his pocket. Mm-hmm. And then, we'll see. But, or maybe he bought it,
I think he's just so desperate. He's so desperate. He wants to believe it.
He wants this to be Abigail. He wants it to be Abigail. He needs it to be Abigail.
Yeah.
Because even Kristen is like, Chad. And he's just like, it's Abigail. It's like, girl.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Like, Kristen of all people would know. She's faked a few DNA tests in her day.
She's faked a lot more. Like,
she faked a pregnancy.
Nicole mask.
She's faked a face.
She faked a face.
This is right up her alley.
Yeah. To your point, if anyone knows a fake bitch, it's Kristen. And I'm not saying fake as in phony. Well, I'm saying fake is like 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. But I love that it really is coming out of love. Everything she said was spot on. She's like, this isn't me I'm not gonna say I told you so. This is not me being cynical. This is me looking out for my little brother. And in that conversation, she did sound like a big sister looking out for her little brother.
You know what they just rewrote it. You know what I wish they would have done? Was instead of having Abigail locked away and all this kind of stuff, like, let Chad say, like, Abigail is alive. Sure. But just have her, like, out and about and run into Chad. And then, like, she knows Abigail so well that she just says things that makes Chad go, my wife used to.
My wife.
Mm.
And but then on the side, have her being like, bro, like, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if he saw right. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that would have been like, ooh.
Well, look, there's still time because
there's still time
for that perhaps eventuality. Because let us remember,
what eventuality? What I just said?
Yes. What I wish. I'm not going to say eventuality, even though I hope it is, because as another loose end to remind people of, we still don't know where the heck that body is. She could be dead. She could be alive.
She
could be on ice. She could be a corpse rotting in someone else's grave. We have no idea. All we know is that the coffin was empty. That's all we know.
Right. She's on ice with their mama.
We don't know.
I know what we do know. That ain't Abigail. But we like them together. That's another thing too. I hate that, like, she's doing this, but you almost look at them and go,
they're
I like
cute
this.
and they have
I can see
chemistry
it.
together. It's
They
one
have
of
a lot
those.
of
It's
chemistry
one of those
together.
things where like, and you know, they can't course correct this quickly. You know, they've had that before where they put two people together and it's like, oh, it works, but they're 8 months ahead and they didn't plan on making it a long-term thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's there's definite chemistry between Billy and Annalyn.
No.
And that's all I got to say about it.
It felt like this
And
week.
that's all we have to say
know-
about.
Yeah, you know what it does feel like? It feels like there's a, I don't know, maybe it's the first day of fall upon us that it feels like there's a shift. There's a shift in chemistry in the air. You know what I mean? Like the electricity is flowing with people that we didn't think it would flow. Like we got Annalyn and Billy over here, and we got EJ and Gabi over here, and then seems to be something percolating with Ava and Stefan. You know, it's all of these, you know, little, there's little undercurrents of electricity running under all of these people.
They're all horny.
What I said was so much more poetic, I'm just saying.
My
And
mother
in
watches
come
the
Michael
show.
Mattis to sum it up. They're all horny. That maybe EJ, except maybe EJ and Gabi, because they just shagged. So maybe they've got their, you know, they got it out of their system. Chad's gotta be ripe for something. It's been a long time for that boy. Anyway.
On that note, we're going to go to our next storyline, which is you slept with my mom.
He found the knicker wearer.
The knicker wearer.
He
What does that
found the
mean?
what?
the man to
The-
whom
oh,
the
the-
knickers
the-
belonged.
Yes.
Whose knickers are
Oh.
these? They're his knickers.
Whose knickers are these? Mom.
I just want to say, I love that they don't have Xander backing down from like wanting to just beat the shit out of Brady with a baseball bat. Like they're keeping Xander, even though he's softer than he was, they are keeping him as a badass too. Like when it's warranted.
Yes.
I like it. I mean, at least, you know, the threat of it, but I don't know. And Paul Telfer is just so great when he when he's angsty like that. It's fun to watch.
I forget
Well,
half of the bad things that Xander has done because Paul Telfer is so
He shot
lovable.
half the town. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
There's like he shot Brady, he shot Marlena.
Do I remember any
He's
of
done
it?
some shit
Nope.
to Nicole. I know. Yep.
Well, the confession that she decided to confess was that she and Brady were sleeping together.
I told you she wasn't going to fess up. She's a coward.
Ooh. Yes.
She's just going to keep that going. Well, that saved Brady's life.
For now.
Mhm.
And Sarah doesn't remember.
Nope.
Marlena's hypnosis has failed. At least Sarah.
I really wanted to believe that she remembered, but she just didn't want to say.
Nope.
I do think that there's something in her that knows that it's someone she knows
Yeah.
behind the wheel.
Yeah. She's like, I don't see Brady, but I can't see who it is.
Mm-hmm.
And
But she's-
maybe that's what's confusing her, is that she's trying to remember Brady instead of just remembering.
Yeah.
I mean, she had a whole 2 minutes.
Well, okay, so Sarah's saying she doesn't remember. Do we believe her?
Yeah.
Do we think that she maybe saw Fiona and isn't saying anything because she doesn't know how to handle like telling that it was her new mother-in-law?
No. I think if it had been someone like Maggie, and it had been a repeat of that storyline, maybe. But no, not for Fiona. No, she would have told Xander right away.
Okay. I'm kind of on that train too. I just thought maybe, could it be that she remembered and just doesn't know how to handle it yet? But
oh no, I think she would flat out. Sarah is not a person who shies away from confrontation, so no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not her character.
No, we all know that, especially drunk Sarah.
Nope.
Don't shy away from that at all.
Drunk Sarah, isn't drunk Sarah how we got Xander and Sarah in the first place?
Yes, and I've been eternally grateful ever since.
I do believe.
I still believe. Don't remember the rest of the words.
Someday you and me will find ourselves in love again.
Someday
in love again.
We'll find ourselves in love again.
Was that Mariah?
Yep.
Mariah and who?
Well,
no, that was just Mariah.
Let's not spread stuff. Mariah did a cover of it, but she's not the originator. Okay. She sang backup for the woman who originally sung that song.
Oh, who was that? We don't have to figure it out now.
It's okay.
We're here. We might as well.
It's what we do here.
Brenda K. Starr.
That's her.
Allegedly.
Yes.
Oh, the chat room.
They know.
Why do we look things up? You guys already know the answers.
That's true.
Thank you, everyone.
Well, speaking of knowing the answers, that has been your top storylines and your storylines for.
There weren't really any tidbits this week. That was it, right?
That was it.
I don't remember anything else.
Make sure you don't refer to Paulina as a basic bitch because she likes pumpkin spice lattes.
She was like, "What in the flat, Stanley?"
But
her scene with EJ, like, which I just had a conversation. Like when Paulina gets all up in arms about stuff, it's just amusing.
Oh, that's what we forgot to mention. The fact that Stefan tried to oust EJ out of the DA job over some I mean, it's true, but Paulina doesn't need to know that.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing.
And she can't be mad at Gabby's lies, talking about, oh, we done did it again this morning. It's like, Gabi, you didn't do nothing. EJ said, we ain't gonna do that again.
But he didn't correct Stefan. And then and there's my
Stefan wasn't gonna believe him.
There was something on his face that was just you could have denied it. It was an easy answer. The man asked you a question. Did you sleep with her again? An easy no. That you had no reason to protect her. It didn't benefit you in any way.
It benefited EJ in the fact that it would still he's just trying to get his brother's goat. Those two are constantly in pissing contests together over stupid shit, and this was just another way for EJ, even if it was a lie, to get under Stefan's skin. Just for the sake of getting under Stefan's skin. That's what I believe.
But if that was the case, he would have been more smug about it. He hesitated, and that was when I was like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Was it that good?
Maybe. Gabi's fiery.
I mean,
it sparked something. It started something. Again, it wasn't we talked about, drunk Sarah is how we got Xander and Sarah. And Sarah slept with Xander kind of to get, who was she? Was she trying?
Eric.
She dicked him. Was it Eric or
that
other idiot?
No.
Other idiot.
So she was catching feelings for Eric at the same time that Rex cheated on her.
So dicking down Xander was to get back at Eric?
Was to try to get over her feelings for Eric.
Got it. Okay.
Eric
my point is sometimes a random shag or revenge boink leads to a great couple, which I think we may possibly have the what am I trying to say? The seeds
The
have been
beginning?
planted.
Yes. Yeah.
Literally
This
and
little se-
figuratively.
We'll
Oh
see.
gosh. Dan freaking Furigal.
Just has chemistry with everybody.
Everybody.
Him and Terrence will be great together.
Have you seen his Instagram? P.S. Have you seen his Instagram this week? And all of his sleeveless shirtness.
Or no shirtness.
I'm like, or no shirtness when he was getting when he was at the spa getting a massage. He posted a picture or reposted a picture of him at a red carpet with the guns out. And I was like, okay, Mr. Furigal.
A man with guns and who loves cats. Gotta love him.
That's right. He has the kitties. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, you look good, Dan Furigal. Keep it up. Keep coming to the gun.
Approved, Dan.
Keep bringing us to the gun show.
I think
Because-
we're in need of the cool weather.
Because Michael Mattis has.
You heard what I said earlier, right? It applies to us too.
You ain't supposed to be drinking.
It's not. It's what is it? It's green tea, lemonade, green tea and lemonade from Trader Joe's. There's no alcohol in this. I told you earlier, I don't drink before, I drink after the show.
That's what Araceli.
Because we saw what happened to Araceli.
Yeah.
Anywho, that has
Mama
been
Moore is about
your
to fly
top
out here.
storylines of Days of Our Lives. Before we move on to our segment, we want to remind you all to make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter, Threads, or X, whatever you want to call it. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, make sure you show some love to us on your favorite podcast station. We are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, show some love to James Lott Jr., our former co-host, and my chocolate twin on YouTube and wherever podcasts can be found. JLJ Media for your soap fix and original audio dramas, brought to you by the oldest man I know, James Bartholomew Lott Jr. Now we are just skipping over tidbits because there were none and heading into our favorite part of the show, which are our segments. And we're going to start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
Snap!
Now listen, sometimes you got to do what you got to do and play along to get along to make sure someone who isn't cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs slices you up. Roll it.
Wait a minute. Connie, I don't want you to take offense to this, but I think you're confused. I mean, Lee would never approve of you hurting me. Right, Lee? Right, Melinda?
Nice try, Melinda. But don't quit your day job. You're a terrible mimic.
Tina hung Melinda Trask for going along with the crazy. You get Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
Oh, snap!
Honey, you better stay alive any way you can. She said,
Oh my
"All
god.
right, Melinda."
There's an episode of the Golden Girls where they were all sleeping in the same bed together and Rose was saying her prayers. And you hear Dorothy go, "Rose, thanks for the lovely prayer." That's what it reminded me of. Oh.
Oh, we forgot. Did we forget to tell Michael Mattis that we're the Golden Girls now?
Oh yeah, we are.
Okay.
I am Sophia. Araceli is Rose.
Avi.
That tracks.
Justin is Blanche, and you're
I'm
Dorothy.
That's right. Okay, yeah.
Yep,
That tracks. I like it.
it tracks. It tracks very well. Well, speaking of tracking, we finally, after a long-awaited moment, get the return of
Caption that!
All right, this week's Caption That. The first one back comes courtesy of the man we were talking about just before, Dan Furigal as EJ, looking at the fire poker that Roman didn't find, that was covered in blood. And this week's caption goes to one of our one of our favorite Caption That winners, Annette Christian Thompson, with her caption, "Oh crap, is Teresa Donovan out of prison?" Because Teresa loves herself a fire poker.
She sure does.
Mm-hmm.
She sure does.
Sorry, Araceli. That's what I meant to do.
It happens. Well, that has been
Caption that.
And now it's time for
It's a gift.
And this week's It's a GIF goes to the line of the week, and it was so good, it needed to be said twice.
that secondary cop had a lot of moments this week.
Mm-hmm.
Which, side note, everybody was a buzzing about
Everybody
that cop.
was a buzzing.
Everybody was a buzzing about that.
He was a handsome
was...
fella. What I enjoyed was that they made a point, and I don't know if it was intentional, like when Jada was like exploring the scenes and they zoomed in on her like heels.
Yes.
Yeah.
I said, you better wear them pumps, honey.
I feel like Elia was like,
Okay,
posing with them.
She's like, get the shoes, honey. Get the shoes.
I gotta get it.
Shoes,
now,
honey.
I gotta give it up to the camera operator. Whoever the camera operator was this week was on point. Because got the, they got the
there's
shoes.
5 of them, but
they got I know, but they're so I wouldn't know names now because they got the shoes, they got all of Julie's looks, they got this like kick-ass like almost like zoom in up shot of Stefan being like,
oh yeah,
when you know what I'm talking about, where you see Stefan and his head goes up and then you see the portrait behind him. Oh, that was a tight shot.
That was like, that was very thoughtful, meaningful camera operation right there, or direction maybe. And was like back when they had time to shoot this stuff, like they're not like that was always like the thoughtful shots were more common before. But and I feel like that's just been a little bit lost because the production schedule is so fast paced now. But yeah, like the music cues have been great. Like the new music cues have been great. The meaningful camera work was phenomenal.
But do you see how that cameraman showed up for work? Very mindful, very demure, very artsy, very on top of his job.
Here we
go. Very camera angles. Okay. And that was.
What was it? Oh, it was.
It's a gift.
We do not have a those were the days. Because on this day, Justin Lee Hareld is working. And he said, you know what? I ain't got time to dish days. I gotta make a coin. I gotta make a check.
He's at a food festival. Working a food festival.
I'm hungry now.
And didn't invite us. He know we like food. Well, remember this day, September 22nd, 2024. There was no Those Were the Days because Justin Lee Hareld didn't invite us to a food event that he has to work at. And those were the days.
Oh, snap!
And now it's time for
news and
I
gossip.
cannot hear news and gossip. Did you hear play?
Yeah.
Okay.
News and gossip has, and this is all Araceli, so everyone sit in tight.
All right. Let's buckle up. Let's get through this. Okay, first up, Carrie Christopher, who plays our very own Thomas DeMera, has joined the cast of Spider Noir. This is going to be a live-action Marvel project based on the Spider-Man Noir comic series. So this cast is actually going to be led by the one and only Nicolas Cage, and it tells the story of a down-on-his-luck private investigator in 1930s New York who is forced to grapple with his past life as the city's one and only superhero. as casting just came out this week, all other details are being kept under wraps, but the show is expected to premiere on Prime Video not anytime soon because this is just casting. But congratulations to Carrie Christopher, who this kid is staying booked and busy.
Yes, he is.
Yes. Next up, our lovely Stacy Haiduk shared some behind-the-scenes videos from the making of her upcoming short film, Brand New Cadillac. This is the vampire thriller that was directed and co-stars with her very own daughter, as well as Stacy's husband, Bradford Tatum, who actually wrote the script. This film is going to be premiering at Screenfest LA on October 13th at the Chinese Theater. So if anybody's in town, please come out and support.
It's a good little short film. It's cute.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I had a hard time getting like a good still shot of it, but she's got some cute behind the scenes and you could see some, how the movie magic is made out here. Next up, Days Online. We have our very own Tony Moore. What does he do? What did he do this week?
Well, this week I had a chance to stop by the Days of Our Lives studio to personally deliver the 3 Dishin Days awards that Mr. Peter Reckel won. So it was a pleasure meeting Peter. He is super nice. He is working very hard over at Days. So shout out to the folks over at Days. Andrea, thank you so much for allowing me to hand deliver the awards to Peter. And thank you, Peter, for taking the time to say hi to little old me and little old us at our little old show called Dishin Days. And congratulations on your 3 Dishin Days awards.
Yes, I'm sure he will be winning many more in the future. Hopefully it won't take us like a very long time to get them to him next time.
Exactly.
We will see. All right. Also on the Days channel, you can find a fun little friendship test that Miss Edie Cantu and Abigail Clyde participated in as their counterparts, Jada and Stephanie. Just basically playing a who knows who better test. So visit the Days Peacock channels online on your socials, on Facebook, Insta, wherever you get your social media. Now, we move on to our upcoming events. Here we go. Star and Image Entertainment. We have a couple of Zooms coming up. The first being with Judy Evans and Wally Kurth. Their Q&A Zoom will be on October 9th. The brother-sister combo of Eric Martzoff and Martha Madison will have a Q&A cocktail Zoom for October 16th. And then there is the big Star Image event, which is the Hot Men of Days Nashville, the weekend of September 28th, 29th. Oh, when is that? Oh, that's next week, guys. This is going to be with Eric Martzoff, Paul Telfer, Carson Boatman, Brandon Beamer, and Rob Wilson with an acoustic set with Carson Boatman and Scott Reeves Sunday morning. So for tickets and information, go to eventbrite.ca/Star Image Entertainment. That's a big one. I know some of you are going. So let us know. And also let us know if you attend the event. Tag us in any of your fun pictures. Let us know how it was.
And
now we
guys are more than welcome to send us photos.
Yes.
And we'll share them on Dishin Days so that people can see how the photos are. That reminds me, I have photos from Samantha and friends, so we'll show that next week.
Mm-hmm.
Under the boardwalk.
Yes, and actually, I believe there were 2 Zooms that happened today or happening today. So, yeah, if anybody has any fun times. He's back, guys. If anyone has any fun photos or tidbits to share from today's events, please feel free to let us in on that as well. Next up, we have the Spectrum Celebrity event hosted by our very own Tony Moore, which will be taking place Wednesday, October 2nd. This is with fan favorite Billy Flynn. This will be at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and portions of the sales from this Zoom will be going to benefit True Colors United. So for tickets and information on that fun virtual event, go to spectrumcelebrityevents.com.
Now wait, is it just me or did your mic start sounding
It kind of,
wacky?
yeah, it started sounding muffled a little bit.
Here,
There you
Can you hear
go.
me? Okay.
Yep.
All right. I'm
Yep.
sorry. Yeah. Yes. So for tickets and information on this event with Billy Flynn, go to spectrumcelebrityevents.com. Then next up, we have a big Starstruck fan event coming up in Florida. So this would be taking place the weekend of October 19th and 20th in Orlando. This is the fundraiser Oktoberfest for Bears Who Cares to promote reading and bring comfort to children in need. Ari Zucker, Sean Christian, Judy Evans, Matthew Ashford, and Eric Martzoff will be in attendance not only for the 5K charity run, but for a fan event that will be taking place on Sunday, October 20th. I'm sorry. The run is on the 19th. I misspoke. The fan event is on the 19th, run on the 20th. I'm sorry. So there will be autographs, photos, and a luau. So the 19th fan event will be a luau. Please wear Hawaiian shirts and all other attire accordingly. The picture, I believe, is the mascot for the October Bear Fest. For tickets and information, go to starstruckfanevents.com. And last but not least in our events, we have the Camp Dream, which is the fundraiser fan event called Soaps in the South to fundraise for Camp Dream, which is an organization for kids with physical and developmental disabilities. Our own Patricia Darbo and Greg Vaughn will be in attendance. This runs from October 5th through 6th in Alpharetta, Georgia. And for tickets and information, go to campdreamga.org/events. And guys, Day of Days weekend. Whew, here we go. This is a weekend. So the main event will be November 2nd at Peacock Theater here at LA Live, hosted by our very own Tony Moore. It's getting close now. We're 6 weeks away now. So if you haven't booked your flights, trains, planes, whatever you want to call it, to get yourselves here, now is the time to do so. We will let you know information as it comes to us, but if you would like to follow our own social media so that you can get Michael Mattis's Day of Days guide with information on past events, please do so. It is yeah.
I'm always reminded on this show, like around this, I'm like, oh yeah, I have that. I'll update it with any new tidbits I can.
Yes, updates for our updates and any Day of Days updates we will get to you as soon as we get them. Before Day of Days, the day before, Starstruck Fan Events will be holding the Yesterdays with a Twist event. That will be Friday, November 1st. Tickets and information, go to starstruckfanevents.com. That same night will be the Ladies of Hollywood exclusive cocktail and dinner party from 5:30 to 9:30. For tickets and information, you need to email Lori Beth at lorimatrix@yahoo.com. And last but not least, the night of Day of Days will be the Day Players who have their show at the Bourbon Room. And if you cannot catch them in LA, you can't make it to that event. They have a few upcoming events in Naples and Tampa, where they will be joined by fellow castmate Leo Howard. So you can go to thedayplayersband.com for information on those 3 shows, as well as any upcoming shows for 2025. Whew.
And that has been
News and gossip.
And now it's time to find out what's coming up on this week's Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives.
Being desperate can make us all do stupid things. I always pay attention to you, Tate.
You two started groping each other. And after all, what's a little simulated sex between friends, huh?
I'm not going to shoot Brady. Brady's going to shoot himself.
I'm the star of the show. Take off that dress, or I will take it off for you. Don't you dare! You take it off! No, you! You!
Body and soul.
Have we actually gotten the theme song? I just occurred to me. Have we ever heard of the theme for Body and Soul?
No. But maybe next week we'll find out more as we will be back next Sunday to give you a full dish of what's coming up this week on Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera Days of Our Lives. But in the meantime, you can follow us on social media. Michael Mattis, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram and X/Twitter at MLMattis.
Araceli.
Okay, you can come up.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Tia323 Araceli. Bimby!
Hiya, Bimby. And make sure you go show some love to Justin Lee Hareld. He is on Instagram, Justin Lee Hareld. And you can find me on all social media platforms at Loungin' with Tony. And of course, you can find us all on the social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, and Dishin Days on Twitter, X, and Threads. Thank you guys so much for joining us for another roundtable discussion of your favorite soap opera Days of Our Lives. Special shout out to Julie Dove, aka Miss Connie Vaninsky, who came on and spilled some tea about Connie. We will see you guys back here next Sunday. Maybe Bimby will join us as well, because right now he's saying, Daddy, we gotta go. So that's our cue. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful and safe week. And we'll be back here next Sunday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to serve up a full dish of this week's episodes of Days of Our Lives. Have a great week. Bye,
Thank you for all the
everybody.
welcome backs. Bye.